Y'all got into it on social media around that time. Is that just you being competitive, like when that happens, or is it like
I just really don't like that dude.
You know? Why though?
Cause I just don't like him. Like I really don't like him. That's like
just not your cup of tea. That's just not your.
I don't like nothing about him. I just feel like he just one of these little arrogant little dudes.
Crawford and Gervonta Davis have never been good friends. Last month, things got really tense between them. The two boxing champions argued on social media. It all started with some comments about the famous ring, magazine awards. But soon, the argument became personal. Both fighters are among the best in their weight classes, but they probably won't fight each other because they're in different divisions. Still, that hasn't stopped them from arguing. Online. Crawford's dislike for Davis didn't just start now. He's been feeling this way for a long time, but now he's finally speaking his mind.
What champ? Come on, man. Tell me what belt. You know boxing. You forgot Devin Haney is undisputed. Devin Haney got all the belts. He the champ. Nobody else the champ. I'm gonna come up here where the big boys at. All right.
Davis, who is known for getting angry quickly, wasn't going to ignore Crawford's comments. He's getting ready to defend his WBA lightweight title on March 1st against Lamont Roach. Even with a big fight coming up, Davis is always ready to speak his mind. Crawford, on the other hand, is training for a huge fight against Canelo Alvarez. If Crawford wins, it could make his boxing legacy even stronger. But even though he's focused on Canelo, he didn't hold back when he had the chance to go after Davis.
You would fight him.
Man, tell him to come up there.
You got to come to win 54.
He said I got a glass chin. So tell him to come and touch it.
Ooh. Wow. Man. Gervonta said you got a glass.
In a recent interview on Cigar Talk, Terence Crawford spoke honestly about how he feels about Davis. The reporter brought up Davis's habit of moving up weight classes and choosing who he wants to fight. When asked if their fight on social media was just two champions arguing, Crawford made it clear. It was personal. "No, man, I just really don't like that dude," Crawford said. "I just don't like him. I mean, I don't like him at all. There's nothing I like about him." Crawford's tone showed he was serious. He wasn't trying to hide his feelings or say something polite. He meant every word.
So I got a question for you, Tank. At 147, how does a fight with you and Terence Crawford look?
Damn.
147? 147.
Shit, I tap that chin, you know he going to sleep.
I already know. I already know he
ain't
is.
got no chance.
I already know he is.
You said no chance.
I got round 5.
Shit, I got round 6.
Crawford kept going and called Davis an arrogant little dude who hides behind his fame and money. He's always surrounded by bodyguards, and he knows he's always in the spotlight, Crawford explained. But in certain situations, he wouldn't act so tough. It was a harsh comment, suggesting that Davis wouldn't be so bold without people around to protect him. Crawford seemed to be saying that Davis uses his public image as a shield. It was a strong criticism of the tough guy persona Davis has, shown over the years.
What he got to shield him. Like, he got a lot of security guards around him, and he know, you know what I mean, he's in the limelight and stuff like that, but
even though Crawford doesn't like Davis's personality, he admitted that Davis is a good fighter. "I respect him as a fighter," Crawford said. "He definitely has skills. He's got power and great boxing ability. But when it comes to his personality and how he acts, no." Crawford gave some praise, but it was clear he didn't really want to say anything nice. His overall opinion of Davis stayed the same. Davis, of course, didn't stay quiet. He fired back at Crawford, saying, "He talks like he's the best in the sport, but he's still out here begging for a big payday against Canelo." It was a sharp comment, suggesting that Crawford is chasing the Canelo fight just for money and attention. Davis's words touched on a common idea in boxing, that even great fighters still need a big-name opponent like Canelo to prove themselves. But the drama between Crawford and Davis didn't stop there. There's another reason. Things are heating up, Shakur Stevenson. The 27-year-old rising star is being talked about as a future opponent for Davis. They haven't fought yet, but fans are already excited about the possibility. Crawford, who is close friends with Stevenson, made it clear that he fully supports him.
I was telling Buck, it's either you or Keyshawn's gonna get tanked, so the walls are closing in, so awesome.
It's gonna be him though.
It makes sense. He's closer.
Big brother first.
Absolutely.
Let's put his attitude and personal stuff aside, Crawford said when talking about Davis. As a boxer, he's definitely talented. He's got that it factor and people know him in the boxing world. But Shakur is a different kind of fighter. Shakur is just different. That's big praise coming from Crawford, who doesn't give compliments easily. He then explained why he believes Stevenson would beat Davis. People say Shakur is boring or that he can't punch. But they said the same thing about Floyd, Crawford said, comparing Stevenson to Floyd Mayweather. That's a powerful comparison, considering Mayweather's nearly perfect record and legendary defensive skills. Crawford believes Stevenson's strong defense would be the key to stopping Davis's power in the ring.
Who have Shakur? What have Shakur done? What have he done in the sport? He haven't done nothing. The young one is looking more better than him.
Who that?
The Keyshawn. Keyshawn looking way more better than this. I keep screaming his name. He haven't done nothing. Keyshawn haven't even done nothing.
Tank won't be able to hit Shakur like he hits everyone else, and he knows it, Crawford said confidently. It's a bold statement, especially since Davis is known as one of the most dangerous knockout punchers in boxing. Davis usually wins by using his explosive power to overwhelm his opponents, but Crawford believes that Stevenson's technical skills would throw Davis off and make it hard for him to land clean shots. Crawford's strong support for Stevenson only makes the tension with Davis even more intense. This isn't just about boxing, it's also about pride, loyalty, and proving who's right. Davis will probably take Crawford's comments as another shot at his status as a top fighter. And if Davis and Stevenson ever do fight, the hype leading up to that match could be one of the biggest and most heated in recent boxing history.
When I see and I go read like little stuff about it, they really be debating. It don't be like, oh, Tank is gonna destroy this guy and everybody is saying it. No, that shit be like real debates, like, no, this Shakur, this, that. And then not only that, now you see Shakur moving up in weight, he's filling out, he's dropping this dude,
The rivalry between Crawford and Davis is more than just boxing. It's personal and professional. Crawford doesn't just trash talk Davis. He seems genuinely bothered by his attitude and the way he acts. Davis, on the other hand, has no problem clapping back. He's painted Crawford as someone who's just hungry for attention and respect. It doesn't look like this back and forth will end anytime soon. Both fighters are too proud and too competitive to walk away. Davis is focused on his upcoming title fight, but he's probably paying close attention to what Crawford is saying. And Crawford, even with his big fight against Canelo coming up, doesn't seem ready to let this feud go.
Talks with Tank's team.
They reached out, but we told them to come back with an offer. And as far as that, we ain't hear nothing since then. Me and him fighting each other, we'll seal the deal on the kings of that division.
Whether or not Davis and Crawford ever meet face-to-face again is uncertain, but one thing is for sure. Their rivalry has already brought plenty of drama. Fans all over the boxing world are watching closely to see what happens next. What's interesting is that Gervonta Tank Davis accused Terence Crawford of chasing money with the Canelo fight. But at the same time, Davis is also looking for a huge payday, possibly from Saudi Arabia, for a fight against Devin Haney. Tank's recent comments about fighting in Saudi Arabia show that he's not just thinking about boxing, he's thinking about luxury, status, and as he said, owning 2, 3, or 4 Ferraris. Crawford's move to fight Canelo in Riyadh is seen as a chance to make history and build his legacy. In contrast, Davis's approach seems more like he's negotiating for a dream lifestyle. Davis has already started talks with Turki Al-Sheikh, the man behind the megafights in Saudi Arabia, and that's stirred up even more buzz. During an interview on the Safe Place podcast, Davis made his demands clear. If he's going to fight Devin Haney in Saudi Arabia, the price has to be sky high. They said I would fight Devin, and they called him their chosen one, Davis said. So now they have. to pay me extra because I already know what I'm walking into. His message was loud and clear. If Haney is being treated like the star of Saudi boxing, Davis isn't stepping into that spotlight without a massive payday to back him up.
Obviously, you and Tank, and that's something that I feel like has built up for years.
Yeah, I mean, the fight has been built up for years, and at the end of the day, if he want the fight, he could have the fight because he's the WB fake champion. He's not the, he has the Mickey Mouse belt.
Davis's comments also showed that he doesn't fully trust how decisions are made in boxing, especially when big money and powerful people are involved. He basically accused Saudi officials of favoring Haney, saying, if I don't knock him out, they're going to give the fight to him. That wasn't just a shot at Haney. It was a criticism of the whole system. It's rare for a fighter to speak so openly about fears of unfair judging, especially when huge paychecks are involved. What makes it even more surprising is that not long ago, Davis seemed excited about the idea of joining other big-name fighters in the Saudi boxing scene. Now, he's showing clear hesitation and concern.
Ask Lomachenko.
No. All right. Turkey said he got your 2 Ferraris ready. What you think about that? Oh, Turkey said he got your 2 Ferraris ready.
I need 3 now.
Yeah.
Tank is definitely changing his tune. His attitude shift is almost funny. One minute, he's criticizing Crawford for choosing to fight in Riyadh, and the next, he's talking about luxury cars and setting himself up for his own trip to the desert. Turki Al-Sheikh's plan of investing huge amounts of money into boxing has already attracted some of the biggest names in the sport. Fighters like Fury and Usyk have earned record paydays from it, and Canelo's deal is big enough to make any boxer think twice about their future. Davis clearly sees the big money in Saudi Arabia, but he's presenting it as a demand for respect, not just a way to make money. Still, the line between wanting respect and chasing a payday is getting pretty blurry. Now that Devin Haney's name is being brought into the mix, it's only adding more fuel to the fire.
I'm going to give it to him. So that's what made me like, oh yeah, I see what's going on. So now, give me 2 or 4 or 3 Ferraris. If not, ain't no point in me going over there for. Y'all got the money.
And Davis have been talking about fighting each other for years, with fans and experts eagerly waiting for the day they finally face off. But Tank's recent words make it seem like the fight wouldn't just be against Haney. It would be him against the entire Saudi boxing system. His criticism of how fights are organized in Saudi Arabia sounds like both a way to negotiate and a warning. He wants everyone to know that if the fight happens, he's going into what he sees as hostile territory, fully aware of what he's getting into.
Mapped out Shakur's next 3 fights, and the third one is Gervonta Davis. He must be sending not the 3 Ferraris that your boy wanted. He probably gonna send him a couple Ferrari mechanics so they can build him his own Ferrari factory.
He was being sarcastic, like he said, because, Turkey was already with Devin. He was making it seem like he...
Despite all the bravado and posturing, Davis did give a small compliment to Turki Al-Sheikh. I'm only thankful for the money he's put in, Davis said. But even that praise came with a condition. He added that managers need to be smarter and know more about the sport to make sure the fights are fair. This kind of comment will probably stir up even more controversy in boxing, where money often influences the outcomes. Davis is basically asking for more transparency, but at the same time, he wants enough cash to buy out a Ferrari dealership.
I want to be someone like Devin, talk all that trash and then overlook my opponent and then get knocked out.
Tank, Martin was really confident in this press conference today that not only is he going to secure a win, but that he's going to get a knockout. How much of that do you think is false confidence?
Then there's the question of whether Davis really believes Haney is the favorite in the eyes of Saudi organizers. By calling Haney their chosen one, Davis might be setting things up to discredit any potential loss before the fight even happens. It's a classic move in boxing, undermining your opponent's support so that, win or lose, you come out looking like the hero. But it's also a risky strategy. If Davis ends up fighting Haney in Saudi Arabia and doesn't get the knockout, he's predicting his words could come back to hurt him. The boxing world has always been full of drama. But Davis's latest comments take it to a whole new level. He's not just negotiating for a fight. He's negotiating for how his story will be told.
I'm being real. So hold on. Yeah. When you look at like Devin Haney's situation when he went to go sue Ryan Garcia, is that do you?
Yeah, bitch.
Okay, cool.
Crawford didn't hold back when talking about Gervonta Davis's chances against Shakur Stevenson or Keyshawn Davis. He straight up said that Tank would lose his first fight if he stepped into the ring with either of them. That's a big claim, especially considering Davis's undefeated record and his reputation for knockout power. But Crawford isn't just talking for the sake of it. He's been in the ring himself and has seen fighters like Keyshawn destroy opponents firsthand. For Crawford, knockout power alone won't be enough for Davis to win against fighters as mentally tough and smart as Shakur and Keyshawn.
Tank, stop mentioning other people when I mention your fighter. What you talking about, boy? Like, don't play with me, bro. Y'all know how I'm coming. Tank, if you wanna fight, send me a contract, bro. Tank, you know.
Davis sounded just as confident, even comparing a possible fight with Tank to the brutal beating Crawford gave Errol Spence Jr. last year. That's not just confidence, that's like declaring war. Keyshawn sees himself as smarter and sharper both in the ring and outside it. He says Davis only has his one-punch knockout power to rely on. Keyshawn is sure that he's already a better fighter than what the world has seen from him so far. That kind of talk really puts pressure on Davis to prove himself against Keyshawn.
Sean the one that can crack their Gervonta code?
Gervonta can be beat easily, man.
Ooh.
Yeah, we hear you say he could be beat easily. Why?
Yeah, he could be beat easily because he's just a basic type of dude with a lot of power. If you know boxing like I know boxing, you can take away that power from you and shit. You know what I'm saying? Young fella.
Shakur Stevenson, who's been trying to get a fight with Tank for what feels like forever. He's fed up. The way Shakur talks, it's clear he doesn't think Davis ever plans to fight him. Shakur doesn't hold back, calling Davis a weird human being and saying he doesn't respect him, if that's not enough to fuel a future fight. Then what is? Shakur also made it clear that Turki Alalshik could easily fund this fight, basically daring Davis to take the deal. The ball is in Tank's court, and Shakur knows it.
I thought he was a tremendous talent. I still think he is, and I think he'll beat any lightweight with the possible exception of Keyshawn Davis.
That's a fight we probably will never see, huh?
That's neither guy wants.
But Davis's next test is Lamont Roach on March 1st in Brooklyn. Everyone will be watching to see how he does because this fight could set the stage for what comes next. If Tank easily beats Roach, the pressure will be on for him to finally face one of the division's champions. Let's not forget that Vasyl Lomachenko is back in the mix. Davis's team reached out to Lomo last year, but Lomo was taking a break from fighting at the time. Now that he's back, it looks like he could be Davis's next target. That fight alone would be huge, considering Lomo's slick skills and his reputation as one of the top fighters when he's at his peak.
9th round.
What?
I say 9th round.
You said 9?
Yeah.
What's your response to that, Lamont?
Look, he got scared. Look. He looked at night.
I'm telling him, you saying you going down in a night? You know that power curry